People think that entrepreneurship is all about the business.
That's not true. Absolutely not true. Once you know yourself, who you are, what do you want, what you already know within yourself, you will definitely be successful. That I guarantee you.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Personal Development for Entrepreneurs. We trust you've had a fabulous Chinese New Year. The celebrations are still going on, and that's one of the reasons why this month's Personal Development for Entrepreneurs is taking place in the mid of the month instead of the first Wednesday of the month. Today we've got a very exciting episode which is called Keeping Things Simple in Complex Situations. What better person to tell us about this than Dr. Venga himself, who I know has mastered the art of keeping things simple. Good evening, Dr. Venga. How are you?
Good evening, Ikram. Hey, to all of you, a happy Chinese New Year. 恭喜发财. I hope this year of Tiger will bring you good luck. Whatever you do in life will be better. And like the tiger, build strength to have a very simple life. Like the tiger, as they depicted it in the beginning of the year in Switzerland, where I think they used, a whole snow mountain to put the tiger in. Like that, a very famous artist put it there. Like the tiger, you must always work towards making life as simple as it is. Now, you become so complex in what you're doing. Actually, it's a very simple thing. All right, good. Hey, welcome everybody, and Ikram, to you, thank you very much. Yes, you're right. We cannot do it in the first week, or there's just too many things happening. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we hope that 2022 will be a better year than we ever had. 2022. All right, good. I was born on the 22nd of December. So, okay, very good.
Fantastic.
Yes, Ikram, come. Let's jump into this subject and see what we can deal with, okay?
Sure. So, Dr. Venga, as usual, your favorite format, let's look at the what, why, and how.
Yeah.
If you'd like to start.
Yeah, exactly. Ikram, I think it's very simple to say that if we do not know what is the situation and why there is a situation, the how will never come. So the first thing to do is to define what is this thing? What is this thing that I'm dealing with? And why is it so complex? You saw WWH. What, why, how? 2 wives and 1 husband. It's a simple formula.
Yep.
What is the issue? Why the issue? And how? So when you have 2 wives, it's a complex situation you create.
Correct.
If you have 1 wife, no issue. Why? Because you look at things in a very complex way. Because complexity is what you like, not simplicity. So usually people have problems because they don't even know what is that complexity they have. And because they are so hooked up with looking things more than what it is, and the reason is because they go back to their past. When they go back to the past, all what they did wrong and right come into focus. And it makes it even more complex because you're dealing with the past. The past is what you have already done, and you were not satisfied with it. Is it? So when you bring in the past, what do you get? Far more complex. Then you cannot even see the why.
Correct.
You don't see the why because it is so damn complex. Because you're bringing so much of emotion, so much of factual things that happened, your actual experience, all that brought in, and then you rojak the thing, and then you get the Indonesian, Malaysian, and Chinese rojak together. You see what I mean?
Correct.
Instead of that, become simple. Look at the thing the way it is now, not yesterday, not what happened before. That is the why. The why part is the key to a person's life. Yeah.
Mhm.
We have the tendency to go back in the past and the tendency to look at the future, which you don't even know. These two things, you don't know. What has happened has happened. What's going to happen, you know. You know. Anybody know?
No.
And why are we like that? So stupid. Okay? So the word I found out. First thing I did was to find out how to make it simple. And that I learned the word KISS. You know, and I always tell people, keep it simple, stupid.
Correct.
It simple, stupid. Complexity is the people who don't know things make it very complex. The more you know something, well, the simpler you keep. And that is exactly what Albert Einstein said a long time ago. Albert Einstein, it says that, remember he said that, if you can't explain it simple, when you can't explain it simple, you don't understand it well enough. Albert Einstein said it. It's not Venga saying it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was some lesson I learned a long time. Because we tend to make it very, very, very complex on all issues. In marriages, in work-wise, whatever. Look at it that way. And you know what? Da Vinci, which is even older than Einstein, Albert Einstein, he said it in a much better way. And he said simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication.
I love this quote. This is the first time I'm hearing it, and I love it.
You know, and Da Vinci is a very well-known person, okay? In fact, let me tell you a very complex thing that people make it very complex. And a very simple thing about Mahabharata. One very good explanation from Venga. The entire war is about trying to strip a woman in the kingdom naked. The war is about that. A woman they tried to strip her naked, but Krishna made it such a way that no matter how much they pull it, she can never be naked. The sari covered her all the time. That is the war, the Mahabharata war. That's it. It's about human ego. Full stop. Simple.
Yes, that's a beautiful summary.
You see, so many things that are very simple, we make it complex. Why? We human don't know how to deal with simple things. We want to deal with always things that are very, very highly complex. We love to be complex. We like to plan it, with all the sophistication, how to tell the story, and think that everybody is stupid. That's one of the reasons why I find it boring sitting with people who talk all sorts of nonsense, even at the highest level to the lowest level. And then within 3-4 minutes, they don't know what they're talking about. This is one of the problems. So, Ikram, why don't we human become simple enough? Because why?
I know. I think, as you said, it's we actually love complexity.
Yes.
We like making things complex. And back to the quote that you gave about from Leonardo da Vinci, simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. It takes a lot of sophistication, a lot of thought and introspect to be able to summarize something, to come up with something simple.
Yes, that's right. Why? Because we, because you know what? We think we want to sound sophisticated because we are very educated. You know, I have read more books than you. And we want to show how clever we quote books here, we quote book there, we quote this author, we quote that to show how clever you are. Isn't that your human ego?
Absolutely correct.
Instead of telling it the way it is, we want to show how clever we are, how we see things. I'm sure, Ikram, in the last 3 years or so, you must have learned how complex people try to be when actually the issues are very simple, easy to deal with. Look at the COVID sophistication and look at the COVID, the way it's turning around now. Endemic. If from the first day we started looking at it from an endemic point of view, it wouldn't be that complex now, isn't it, Ikram?
Correct. Yes.
Any other flu, right?
Yeah.
But we make it complex. Why? There's money to be made. Somebody will get richer, you know. This is how we make it complex. Then you call in all the consultants and whatever you and all that. More money is needed. We make things complex. No? Human wants to make it complex because they want to make something out of it. No? So instead of giving a simple answer, we give a very complex answer. And when we give a complex answer, so what happened? Look at just simple example. A simple example, Ikram. You know, can you put up this dots? You see this complex dots that you see there?
Yes.
Okay, is that right, guys? Just count. Can you count and tell me how many dots you see?
In 3 seconds.
Yeah, can you do that? You can't. You probably guess the wrong number. Now, Ikram, show the second slide.
Here it is.
Okay. So, what? It's exactly 25. The same. Put them together, Ikram. They're both 25. But you see, one is very complex. The other is so simple. Why? It's arranged in a way.
Organization.
That is simplicity. That is the what and the why. The how, once you can see there are only 25, you know what to do already. But you know what? You are human and you want to show how clever you are. You don't like simple things. You don't think anything is simple. You must make it like a roja, make it very complex. All the quarrel that you have with your family, with your children, with your wife and husband or whatever, all that complexity is because you want to see it your way. And when you want to see it your way, you make it very complex. So other people don't understand what you're saying. Then you say, hey, we have a communication gap. There's no communication gap. You love and enjoy being very complex, yet it is so simple. So over the years, I have found that humans don't like to deal with simple things. When I make it simple, they think that either I'm stupid or, that it can't be that simple. Actually, it's very, very simple. I can quote you things in my life that actually very complex thing. Even the recent episode I went through, it's quite simple, but you can also make it very complex. It's the way you see it, the way you look upon it. Yes, yesterday I was in a company talking to somebody. This chap is an Indian from India, a very mathematically clever chap, very clever. He said at first when he came to this country from Singapore, he worked in Singapore and came here, he said he could not understand the working ethics of Malaysian. he goes into, oh, he makes a calculation of work that was done and the claims and all that. He puts together in a very easy way, and go to the various authorities who has to pay the bill, not to pay the thing. And he said, I have to spend sometime 2 days to 1 week to get a claim through. And you know what? I couldn't understand, why are they so complex? I have made it so simple for them. That's because they first want to be given breakfast, then a tea break, then a lunch break, then a prayer break, and then a dinner break every day for 1 week before the whole thing. And then to say, to make it more simple, why don't you give me a computer so I can do it at home? See, simple issue. He told me it takes him 1 week. It takes him 1 week to sort it out. See how sophisticated people can become for their own benefit. Ikram, I hope that our viewers understand this. Everything that you do in life is such a simple thing. Why don't you look at it as a simple thing? When you cannot look at it in a simple way, then you don't understand it. So what is the first thing to do? Write down, what is it that you don't understand? Write it down. Why I don't understand? Okay? Why? Why? Why are you making it complex? Then you, okay, so each of the statements I've written down, I set a goal. I said, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Okay?
Yep.
When you do that, you will find that actually everything can be split down in a very simple way. I mean, just writing it down and then using the system, the V planner, okay, every 20 minutes. Okay, do one thing for 20 minutes. Just one thing after another. Okay, by that, you yourself will find that you have created a simple way to deal with things. Now, the problem is, because it's so simple, you think it's so hard. You want to make it so complex. Why do you do that? You do that because you're human. Okay, now, there is a formula which I published in my first book called OATS, O-A-T-S. Vikram, you have read about it, right? You
Yes,
remember?
yes.
Okay, what does it say? Hey, you have an issue. The first thing is, I don't know what the issue is. So what is the issue? Why the issue? Then the how becomes very simple. How is very simple. Then you set objective. What is my objective in wanting to do this? What do I want to achieve? Objective. That's the O for OATS, O-A-T-S, OATS. No? What is, so you have to write that down. Don't think inside your head. When you think inside your mind, it's a complex issue here because the mind deals with the past, okay? And your emotion deals with the past. Between the mind, the emotion, and the past, it drags you into the future. And the future, it doesn't know, it's empty. Even your mind don't know the future. Don't try it, okay? And when you put all the information into the future becomes muddled. So that's why objective, OATS, O, very important. Objective is a clear thing. Secondly, in order to solve, or at least to if you know what the objective is, then, hey, what are the activities I must do? What are the objectives I must do? Take the objective, break it down into activities. Those activities, as I just explained a few minutes ago, hey, go to every 20 minutes. Try to do one thing. Okay? Now, this requires time. You can't block 1 hour. The T is for time. That you can't block 1 hour or 2 hours. So why not do it 20 minutes? Only 20 minutes. Do it and then stop and do something else. Now, that means you must schedule all this. You cannot do it now, scheduling. So what does the old means? Get your objective right. Write down all the activities. Use time, but don't use on block of time. 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes like that, okay? Do one thing for the next, don't do anything for do something else. Go back and do it again. Every hour, spend 20 minutes. So in 8 hours of working, you got 20 minutes to look into this, things that you have to resolve. So, but at the same time, you can look at other things. So like that, you can always develop your own method of doing it, okay? And finally, scheduling it. You cannot do everything today. No way. That's why, in my view, scheduling is part of planning. It's part of thinking. It's a part of solving an issue. Simple things like that. Huh? Does it sound simple enough, Kram?
It does.
It doesn't it?
Objective, activities, time, and scheduling.
That's right. It's not so difficult, is it?
Nope. It doesn't sound difficult, but in practice, it requires some effort, at least in the beginning, I'm sure.
That is because we want to complex it. We analyze until we become paralyzed. Because why? We always think there is a hidden thing. We are looking for things that's not there. No? Ikram. It's like the damn Americans. No? Look at them. No? Simple issue. No? China has become richer than you. Accept it. Like, move on. No? No. No. I have to be the greatest. I have to do what I have been doing for the last 70 years, showing people how good I am. Now everybody knows you're not that good. Your country is not that good. You are going to be hit with inflation. You know that. You are not the richest country in the world. You know that. Somebody else becomes, oh, now it becomes a racial issue. You make it so complex. Huh? And you know what? News media loves that complexity because they can make money. Social media, wow, the biggest in the world today. Another complexity. Is it not? So 8.4 billion people are all in the complex issue. Look at it in a simple way. When I say like that, they think I'm stupid. Okay, lah. Sure. Look at the simple thing that's happening in Ukraine. Also simple issue, right? You come to my house, near my house, you park a lot of soldiers and all. What do you think I'm going to do? What do you think I should do? Yeah.
You force it to some action, yeah.
You see? So all this complexity, humans love it. Not only the white love, the humans love it. We have learned from the white people. No? Because why? They always want to be. They always wanted to be the people of innovation. You, all other people, African people, Asian people, South American, you are only consumer. I am the one who will create. Now the thing is reversed already now. Asians are beginning to create themselves. You can't accept, so make it more complex. It's you know how complex this issue has become. And some people are talking about the hand is in the button. It's between the button and the hand is only 1 millimeter away. People are talking like that, okay? So nuclear war will start. So people get frightened, fear. Wow, what's going to happen? I better do this, I better do that. I better spend my money. Everything is created for the benefit of one race, the white race. Sorry being very racial, okay? But that's what is happening. Why don't we accept things as they are? I'm not being political. Look at it in a very simple way. Can it be solved or not? Ikram, tell me. As a simple person like you and me, this issue, can it be solved?
Of course, you can.
But we don't want to solve it, do we? Why?
We love complexity.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, we want to come out as hero, right?
Yep. The
We have,
ego.
we have learned nothing from the Mahabharata till today. The stripping of the woman to a
Mhm.
war, to destroying a complete family. Huh? It has
Yep.
happened in history. It's not a myth, it's a history. And yet, till today, at least from the Mahabharata, the Indians have learned to be a less arrogant and less understanding. That's it's a simplicity always makes it easy. You bring me any issue that are very complex, sit and talk to me. I can more or less show you a simpler way to handle it. But you insist on being complex, there's nothing I can do about it.
Yep. Of course.
We can't. And part of the problem is ourselves. Why? We as humans love this complexity. Why? It makes us look very sophisticated, very educated, and able to discuss issues that nobody understands. The speaker only understands what he's talking about. Do I sound like that?
No, no.
I have not. But actually, Ikram, in my mind, if you find anything complex, sit down. What is the issue? What is that issue? And then why? What is the issue and why? And then when you start to write it down, then use the simple Oates formula. Very simple. OATS. Objective, activity, time, and schedule. Use 20 minutes. What is so difficult about that?
Nothing.
Grammar. Because I am not saying this. People like Da Vinci, people like Albert Einstein, you think they make the statement for the sake of making a statement?
No.
You see, when Ramanujam wrote the formula for the black hole, okay, Cambridge, of course, made it so complex, but only recently, about 10 years or I don't know the time, recently only, they found that there is such a thing as a black hole. But Ramanujam in 1912, I think, 907, I can't remember the dates, wrote the formula. But he wrote it and people say, can you explain how you reached it? I can't explain, this is what it is. So my Devi told me. You see, so we have been through 120 years of this one. As we move forward, are we becoming more complex? Yes. Because complexity takes time. Complexity shows that I have a lot of work to do. I have more things to think about. And I have to be paid more, and so on and so on. Have you seen proposals, Ikram?
Yes, I have.
Those proposals are sometimes as much as 500 pages.
Yes, very complex.
Who understands that, Ikram?
I don't think anyone reads much of these proposals.
Absolutely, Ikram. You are in that business and you know what I'm talking about. But you know what? To impress, the higher the document, the more complexity. So why are we like that? And you know, and you have done it, I'm sure. You take the 500 document, take out the objective part completely out of it, and you can do it in 2 pages, and handle it, right?
Correct. Right.
The key is execution. Execution.
Yep.
That's why when I develop the system, my key effort is the daily schedule, your execution on every day. What are you accomplishing? What are you doing? And there's a book written on the execution. I think there's two series. First, and then the second book came out. Execution. 97% of the human being working in every corporate office have one issue: execution. They have a lot of meetings, very few people are executing it.
Correct. Because everyone is bogged down or mired in this complexity. It's very difficult to, it's very difficult to start when the beginning is so complex.
Exactly. Some people, I give you a simple example. Yes, you have planned this, and what happened if it rains? My answer: buy an umbrella if it rains. Otherwise, no discussion. Stop it. If it rains, let it rain. We deal with it when it comes to rain. Deal with it as it comes. No? Don't sit down and spend about several hours discussing what can possibly happen. What if and what not, and what, all this complexity was introduced in order to make more money. No? Yep. Tell me, Vikram, tell me, my friend. There's so many things we are building, okay? In Malaysia. Look at the way China has built all their buildings and all that, in very complex land and all that. You hear about the complexity,
No.
They just do it, right?
Yep.
And the answer is like that. They have a philosophy which says that you don't know what to do, okay? Just do. If you don't know what to do, just do. And as you do, you will get to know it. And the idea is the simple philosophy. Right? They say like this in Hokkien, tit teng, tit tui, ti kong ti, meaning a hammer and a nail, and on a sheet of steel. If you take a hammer and hit the nail, one, on the steel, keep on hitting the nail again and again and again and again. The nail will go through the steel. Meaning, if you do it over and over and over again, you will find the answer. No need to sit down and call a congregation and have a discussion. And if you don't know what to do, ask somebody else who knows to do it. If you don't know, you don't know. No? You want to learn. That's a separate issue altogether. You understand what I'm saying or not?
Yes, absolutely.
Get the people who know what to do and let them do. The others can learn. If they sit and theorize and get a PhD on that, it ain't going to help. Unless they take the hammer and the nail and the steel and hit themselves. And only they will learn. Sitting down in a very complex air-conditioned room hoping to solve a problem won't happen. Am I talking rubbish?
No, it makes sense.
So to sum it up, like the dot I showed just now, you can either make it very complex or you can make it simple. Look at it. Spend a few minutes, maybe 30 minutes or so. Hey, what is it and what is the issue? What is the issue? Why is this an issue? And what do I have to do? How? So tell me, and on a daily basis, execute it, Vikram. Have I said enough or not? Or you want more?
Actually, you've said it, and very simply, you've kept it simple in the explanation. So just a quick recap. The oats formula is sitting down, looking at a complex situation and asking what's the objective you want from, what's the objective you're looking for, or the outcome, and then planning the activities to achieve that objective and planning the time. something that you've told me in the past, right? When you're assigning time for a task, you always say do it in 20-minute slots. But what that means is that you have to break down that task into the last divisible task. So it has to be the smallest task.
Yes.
And that's done at that 20-minute. Okay. An example is if you're trying to write an essay, you can't write an essay in 20 minutes. But if you break it down into the smallest part, then it comes down to research.
Yes.
And then, writing the skeleton and then fleshing out the skeleton. So then it becomes possible to break it down into 20 minutes. And that's how you keep things simple, because all complex tasks need to be broken down into simple tasks that make up that complex task.
And the reason 20 minutes is because our brain, understand this, our brain cannot work on one thing for more than 20 minutes, maximum 20 minutes. It runs away. It is always moving from one thing to another. This is because of the intellect we have, not intelligence, intellect that we have. It has to move. The best you can do is 20 minutes. You can only concentrate on 20 minutes. Then you get tired, want to look for something else. Otherwise, you, human, you will die soon. I'm telling you that. 20 minutes. Otherwise, your vessel inside will break. That's why the intellect is smart enough to move from one thing to another, look for another issue, go to the past, all that. Right? So that 20 minutes was specifically done. You cannot do a task more than 20 minutes. You're lying to yourself. You say, no, I can work on a task. You lie. You are a liar. 20 minutes, the maximum. In fact, the moment you're driving out today, check yourself. You only will concentrate driving for 20 minutes. After that, you go subconscious already. Try doing that highway. Getting into the highway, you'll be conscious. Once you get in the highway, then you are already, your mind is floating and going here, going there, going to the past, going to the future. Isn't that? Tell me.
Yep.
20 minutes. I have experimented that over and over and over again. 20 minutes. That's why I designed this 20 minutes. At home, after 6 o'clock, I put 30 minutes. That's more relaxing atmosphere. You can probably talk to your wife and children for 30 minutes, maximum 30 minutes. After that, you're drifting already.
Correct. So that's the time portion. And then once you've done that, it's the scheduling, right? So objective, activities, time, schedule, and that's how you keep things simple. Dr. Venga, we have 2 or 3 more minutes. Would you like to wrap up what we've said?
Okay. I say this to all of you. Everything in life is simple. You are born, you live, and you die. Born, live, and die. Simple. Life is simple. You will die. I will die. Every one of us will die. And yet, the whole complex thing that we have in our body, okay? We eat a bread. We eat a simple bread. Okay? And we become human. The same bread you give a dog, it becomes a dog. We are is the bread smart, or is the system that we have is smart?
The system.
Yeah, exactly. So we are a very complex human being. But yet, you can look upon things in a very simple way. A flower is a flower. You don't have to cut the leaf, cut the stem, cut the part of the liver, break it into 1 million pieces and say, hey, this flower is so complex. No, the flower is very simple. It just wants you to enjoy the beauty. No. You want to go dig inside and find out why don't you accept it the way it is? Accept things are very simple. Nature is so simple. You go and fool around with nature and then you blame the storm. You go and do things that destroys the environment, blocking, flood. All these are caused by people who are making things very complex because they have a short-term theory. They don't look upon it in a simple way. They look at it in a very complex way. But the complexity is so complex, you cannot see it all. You only see what you want to see. The more complex a person is, Ikram, the less he knows.
Correct. Yes. I've noticed that over time.
That's all. But ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are attending this program, let me just say this. Use my daily schedule. Simple daily schedule. Okay? Don't be so sophisticated. Plot the things that you want to do today. Everything. Do not work for more than 20 minutes on each item. You will get the desired result.
Fantastic. And, Dr. Venga keeps mentioning the V Planner and his daily schedule. If you are interested, I use it. It's one of the best time management systems I've ever tried. If you're interested in using it or you're interested in getting one for yourself, please drop a comment below, just or drop us a direct message with your number, and someone from the team will be contacting you to help you get one. Thank you very much. That concludes our session this evening. Hope you've enjoyed that, keeping things simple in complex situations. Remember the oats formula and remember to keep it simple, stupid. Good night, Dr. Venga.
Hey, what about our next session?
Yes, our next personal development for entrepreneurs will be happening on the 2nd of March. It's the first Wednesday of the month, as usual.
Good night.